Hello UCP students, happy day after Easter. So today our recipe is going to be deviled eggs and deviled egg sandwich. To use all those Easter eggs that you probably didn't go hunting for because we all had to stay inside. But I know a lot of people did eggs anyway, so we'll have leftover eggs, and this is a great way to use them. What you will need is, of course, eggs, some bread for when we do the deviled egg sandwich, mayonnaise, mustard, and dill pickle relish, which I forgot to put on the table, but it'll be on the table when we put them together. Now the first thing you do is boil your eggs. Everybody has their own way that they do eggs. My egg that works best for me is to boil your water. I need a big spoon. And then, I'll just do this. I boil my eggs for 12 minutes. So you want to have something so you don't just drop them hard into the, I've been boiling this water for a while, so it's going to cover some. You put your eggs in the water, and then after you put them in, you start your timer, and you're going to boil them for 12 minutes. At a medium boil, you don't want to boil them too hard. Also, I got eggs with a cardboard carton so that we can use them for an activity later. So you boil your eggs for 12 minutes, starting now. Okay, our timer is going off, so our eggs are done. So we're going to take the eggs off the stove, and the first thing you're going to do is just run cold water so that you can touch your eggs. So we're going to run some cold water on them. Now you might need some help with boiling the eggs from either your parents or your care provider. And just remember, when they help you do things like that, be thankful, because they're there to help you out to do things that you can't do. And I know sometimes maybe we're not feeling good, or we're bored because we're stuck at home and we just feel grumpy, but really you should be thankful for anybody that's helping you out. Now, after the water cools down enough for you to be able to stick your hand in there if you're doing your eggs yourself, we're going to put the eggs in a ice bath, which is just ice and some water, so it's very cold. This helps you to peel your eggs better, because sometimes it's hard to peel eggs. And this is just a trick that, I don't know where I learned it, I think it was from my mom, to help you get the peels off easier. Now, how do you know when you're going to boil your eggs? If your eggs, because now we can't go shopping as much. How do you know if your eggs are good or not? If you put your eggs in water and they sink to the bottom, then they're good. If they float to the top, then they're not good and you should throw them away. Okay? But you should check your eggs not with boiling water, just in a bowl of regular water. And then, because they're going to rumble around when you're boiling them. Now, after the eggs cool off, we're going to peel them. Okay, now that the eggs have cooled, you call a friend. Monica's here. She's on our filming crew, me, Monica, and Christine. Christine is behind the camera because she doesn't like to talk. Then we're going to take the eggs and just peel them. Okay, after you peel the eggs, make sure you give them an extra wrench, especially if you're using white eggs, because sometimes little pieces of the shell stay on there, and if it's white on white, it's hard to see. We had brown eggs, and I saw lots of little leftover pieces. So give them another rinse and then let them dry before you start this next segment. Okay, so first we're going to start with deviled eggs. Now, the thing about deviled eggs is you figure out how many you need or want, and then each egg represents 2 deviled eggs because you're going to be cutting it in half. So the first thing you need to do, we did a dozen eggs, so we're going to use 6 of the eggs to make deviled eggs. So you take, and you only really need a knife that's not very sharp because they're easy to cut through. So I take my knife and you're going to cut the egg long ways. Here's 2, 3, here's an egg that got messed up sometimes when you boil the eggs, the egg will crack, and so we're going to use this for the deviled egg sandwich because it's not a pretty one. Here's another one. 2 more eggs will make 12 halves. Now, after you have cut the eggs, you have to gently just pop the egg yolks out, like turn it upside down, and leaving the white, okay? And then you put the white on a plate. So here is the other egg yolk. Now we have our egg whites on a plate and our egg yolks are in a bowl. Adding to the egg yolks, we're going to, first I would probably fluff them up a little bit or squish them down with a fork. Get them broken up. This is going to be a small batch, so we don't need a whole lot of ingredients to mix with it. Thank you, stagehand. So then we're going to add some some mayonnaise. This is new mayonnaise, so I'm going to open it in front of you. I should have done that ahead of time. Okay, so I ain't Rachel Ray. Whatever. She has a whole competence staff to help her. Now, put a little bit of mustard. You do mayonnaise to taste. So I would put, start off less than more, because if you put too much mayonnaise, you can't take the mayonnaise out. So start with a little bit of mayonnaise just to bring this together. Put mayonnaise in and get it nice, and remember, start off with less, and you don't want to, so you don't put too much in. So that's about enough mayonnaise for right now. Then you add some yellow mustard. You could use Dijon mustard or whatever, but this is my favorite. This is actually my mom's recipe. I'm very thankful to her for teaching me how to do this. See, it's easy to be thankful. Now you put a little bit of mustard in there. Not too much, because you don't want it to just taste like a big mustard ball. And you mix in the mustard, and you start getting a consistency like this. And then, I like dill. Now you can cut your pickles yourself, but I figure, if it comes already cut, why cut them yourself? Some people like their deviled eggs with sweet pickles. I like my deviled eggs with dill pickles. So you're gonna take some of the dill pickles. Now you take your relish. Now because relish kind of has juice in it, you don't want your stuff to be too wet, so I press it up against the side of the jar to get out some of that moisture. And I like pickles, so I'm going to put 2 in. But again, this is to your taste. Now, if somebody's helping you get your relish out of the jar, or getting you your ingredients together for you to make this, or let's be honest, making it for you, then you need to be thankful, because Everybody likes to be appreciated for what they do. And your parents and your care providers, they do a lot for you. So make sure you say thank you. There you go. We're gonna add a little bit of pepper. Take your spoon and you scoop it into the part of the egg where the yolk used to be. It makes it like a little bowl. Monica found some pepper. Thank you, Monica. See, it's real easy to be appreciative. So I'm gonna sprinkle a little pepper on the top. Now usually I put the pepper right in the mix, but since Monica was going on a pepper hunt while I was filming, I'm gonna just sprinkle it on top. You can also sprinkle, a lot of people like paprika sprinkled on the top. I'm sure if you've had deviled eggs before, you've seen that little red powder, that's usually paprika. And there you go. Steve's deviled eggs. Now we're going to go to my famous deviled egg sandwich mixture, which is almost exactly the same as the deviled eggs, except that you're going to chop up the whites along with the yolks. So what I do is I cut these in half, and you can either chop them by hand, which is what my mom did. Thank you, Mom, for chopping the eggs by hand, but I like to do it in a food processor or a blender. Just pulse it, don't put it on blender, or it will just turn into egg soup. So you're just gonna cut these, and we use that one damaged egg because that wouldn't have been a pretty deviled egg. And then you put them in a blender or a food processor. And then you're going to pulse it. And sometimes you have to go in there and push it down so that it gets all of the eggs. Just mix that up. This one egg's being stubborn. Okay, you take the egg mixture and put it in the bowl. It's probably better in a food processor, but we couldn't find the blade to the food processor because probably the last person that used it didn't put it away. All right, take that. Put this back over here. You probably usually might want it a little chunkier. I did blend it a little bit much, but then you go like this. And you do the same thing that you do with the deviled eggs. A little bit of mayonnaise to taste. Remember, start little and then build, because if you put too much mayonnaise, you can't take the mayonnaise out. A little bit of mustard. And again, your choice of either sweet or dill pickles. I like dill. That's why I'm so sour. And then you just mix it up. You'll probably have to use a little bit more mayonnaise and mustard for the deviled egg mixture because you're not just using the yolks, you're also using the whites. But again, start small and build. And if someone's doing this for you, you need to say what? Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking care of me and helping me with the things that I need. Mix this up. This looks good now. Now, you take your favorite bread. It could be sourdough, it could be wheat. I like wheat, but some deviled egg enthusiasts say it's blasphemous to not put it on white bread. But to me, that's just too much mushiness. You take your bread and spoon some on. Spread it. You spread it with a knife. I just spread it with the back of the spoon. You can also add lettuce if you want. Sometimes you can add a little bit of onion to the mixture. You can also put it on bagels. I like it on crackers, like a dip. If I make a lot of it, I like to make it like a dip. And here you go. You've got your deviled egg sandwich. Thank you for watching this video, and hopefully this is a recipe that you can do. Talk to you later.